Hi everyone. So, if you like my channel, please like and subscribe. There's a little notifications bell over in the corner that if you press that, you'll get notified as to when I'm going live. Okay, so today I decided to tackle a hot button subject, which is supervised injection sites. So, I want to just start this off by saying this is not a debate. This is not a discussion of whether we allow them or don't allow them. This is a talk about what is. Okay? So, first off, people use drugs. This is not a homeless or a homed issue, it is a people issue. And apparently a dolphin issue too. So, there's that. But people use drugs. Now, there are many types of substances that people use. And there is such a thing called addiction. And addiction is an issue within the brain. I'm going, for the purpose of this video and this vlog, I'm just going to say we all agree, most of us, and if you don't, please, whatever, but addiction is a disease. There is a choice in the substance that is used sometimes, but there's also, we're going to go into that, things that lead to that. So, number one, people use drugs, and the opiate crisis worldwide, but especially in the United States, has skyrocketed. It has almost tripled in the last 5 years. And a lot of this is due to a pharmaceutical company. And I think it's widely known that opiates are highly addictive, and people were given these medications without knowledge. It led to overdoses. It's led to a rise in the heroin epidemic. When they can't, when people stop getting prescription medicines, a lot of times to, kill the pain, they go to heroin. So regardless, people use drugs. Now, supervised injection sites. Now, these sites, what this is a place where there are professionals there to supervise a person who is going to use drugs so that they don't overdose, and they have a clean needle, and the dirty needle is disposed of correctly. It has nothing to do with agreeing or disagreeing with drug use. I think we can all pretty much get on board with the fact that drugs are bad. I hate saying that though, because honestly, like magnesium, there are drugs across the board, Tylenol, whatever. But I think we're just going to go out on a limb here, and we're going to talk about heroin, opiates, meth. Okay. We're going to talk cocaine or whatever, but we're going to talk about injectables today because we're talking about supervised injection sites, and I don't want to get off topic here. So as there was a rise in the addiction rates, we found that service professionals, those that were in the service industry, were being exposed more and more often to needles, paraphernalia. And this posed a danger, getting stuck. It's a biological contaminant. So what started happening is they started shutting down the public restrooms because they found that, of course, people prefer privacy, and restrooms are much cleaner than alleys, streets, and or parks. So when they started shutting down the public restrooms, the opiate crisis continued to rise. So you've got more people addicted, more people doing the drug, and less places to do so in. So we started to see a rise in these contaminants in our parks, along our streets, and our alleys. And what a supervised injection site does is that provides a place for people to use in a clean manner so the rest of us can also stay healthy. Um, so it isn't about agreeing or disagreeing. What it's about is addressing several public health crises. It's addressing overdoses because the rate of overdose is so high. Um, and like I said, not a homeless issue, not a homed issue. This is a people issue. Overdose, it has proven, and look, you can look at the Insight data. That's INSITE. It was in Canada, and it is proven to reduce the overdose rate. And another thing, data also shows that at these safe injection sites, there is no rise in the drug use. In other words, they're not seeing a rise in new addiction. And when paired with treatment services, in other words, there is mental health and or I guess I really want to get away from saying, because it is mental health. It is all mental health, but people run with that and they start screaming the mentally ill, and it just doesn't go well. But yes, mental health and treatment services right there. They found that people want to get treatment, and it may take a few times, but when you pair it with that, you're pairing it with a way to not just solve the problem for ourselves. In other words, not having the needles contaminate, not having the needles out in public, because people are going to use drugs. This is going to happen. The opiate crisis is unimaginable. So we can we know from the war on drugs that law enforcement doesn't work. It's a for-profit system. It overloads our system. It's way more expensive than treating people and getting them the help that they need instead of perpetuating trauma, which actually makes those issues worse. So it is for several reasons: public health, biological, epidemiological, I guess. Um, it saves lives. And even substance users, not even, substance users are people. They're part of our community and they're sick. We don't have to agree with the actions of someone to want to make sure that they're safe and our communities are safe. So that's kind of what I will be doing later in the descriptions. Is I will be putting some resources so that everybody can use their ability to kind of look at it and look at the data yourselves. You don't have to make a decision. Just really look at it and look at it from not the point of judgment, but look at it from the point of public safety. Look at it from a point of saving lives. Look at it from the point of treatment. I think that there's a lot of different factors that are combined in this, and none of them have to do with agreeing with perpetuating an opioid epidemic. So I just want to put that out there and just kind of provide some information. So I am going to read through some of the comments. Um, Let's see here. Okay. Hey, Megan. Um, Rowan, no one's here. I just said hello. Hi, Karthik. Hey, Kate. Yeah, the Sackler family is getting sued for this, and they should be. It was what has been done to our population is just horrific. Um, and we all have the propensity to use drugs. Drugs have a makeup to draw you into abuse. Fight to be free. Okay. Here's the thing. There's different kinds. You can take an aspirin and not be addicted to it. Addiction is a very real mental illness. It has nothing to do with the substance. It has to do with addictive behaviors. And that can take many forms, not just substances. So I think we need to really look at addiction as the condition that it is. I don't know what that says. Okay. Are these okay. Uh okay. Okay. First of all, thanks for Bogomir. You know that taking prescription painkillers are likely to get you addicted. Use your non-addictive way to stay away. Okay, I can see that, Kate. And I understand that we can tell people all day to stay away. But in the end, there are things that trigger these things. And there are some people that have very legitimate reasons for using painkillers. And it's just, I'm trying to come from a place of looking at it this way. I understand that people have a choice to what they put in their body. Get it. But for the ones that, for whatever reason, made that choice, they need help. No matter why you're sick, it doesn't matter. You deserve help. You deserve safety. You deserve health care. And it doesn't matter if you decide to go on a mountain climbing adventure and you fall and break both legs. Yeah, you did it. You made the choice. You did that. But you still deserve health care. And we will still fly a helicopter out to you and send a search party and get you safe and get you to a hospital. Because that choice is looked at differently. Even though we know that's dangerous. So, the raging argument is where to put these places. Okay, I agree with you that that is a huge deal. As to Kate, you're right on there. Perfect point. Thank you so much. I do not agree with putting these places in homeless shelters. I just don't. And the reason for that is because there are many people that are in recovery that cannot be around that. And if they are, that chance of relapse is so high. You know, it just doesn't make sense to put a place where, here's the thing, if this is a place where addicts are going to go and use in a supervised place, we can't put that somewhere where there are people who are desperately trying not to use. We have to put it at a place where there's treatment. In other words, in a healthcare type setting. This is all healthcare, and that's something that I try to go over and over and over. All of this is healthcare. There are many disciplines to healthcare, and this is one of them. And I really, truly believe that if we're going to have supervised injection sites, it needs to be paired with healthcare. It is not okay to pair it and just assume that the homeless are addicts. Like, yes, there are people addicted, but the number one substance as well that people are addicted to is tobacco, and then alcohol, and then all those. So And there are a lot of people who are homed also, so it's a people issue. Okay, I kind of got on a tangent there. Um, row. Um, they do save lives. They do. It's proven to save lives. And just, I mean, think about it. Like, okay, for example, Elvis. Let's not meaning any disrespect here, but Elvis. I mean, if you know about the story of Elvis, you know that he died of a drug overdose in the bathroom. In the places where they're using where they're going to, where these are safe injection sites, there are professionals on hand that can save that life. Because in the end, it's based on the belief that people are worthy of having their lives saved and having a healthy life. And at every opportunity, placing proactive things in front of them. Here's treatment. When you're ready, come on, here's some treatment. If you can't do this one, how about this one? Let's meet you where you are. Because we understand that the health of our communities lie in the health of the individual. So we have to make sure that to retain the whole health, we have to retain the individual health as well. Um, do they need help to put more poisons, or do they need help to get off the drugs? What it is, okay, well, this one is really, really difficult, that question, because it really depends on the drug. Some drugs can, you can die if you stop right away. Alcohol is one of those. Some of those, the withdrawals are overwhelm, affect the nerves. I myself have seen where the flesh is eaten away because it completely numbs all the nerves, and it looks like it's down into the muscle. Um, and here's the issue: once a person is addicted to a substance, that substance does things physiologically. So, say that substance starts eating at the impulse centers of their brain, and it starts eating at the portion that deals with decision making. Then it starts eating at the portion that deals with motivation, and then speech. And then your brain affects your choices. And if your brain is on a substance that has physiologically changed the way your brain works, you need more than just help getting off the drug. You're going to need therapy and other things. If it was just common sense to stay off of drugs, we wouldn't have the crisis that we have now. It isn't common sense. It is something, addiction is built into us as human beings. So, the powers that be want people to stay addicted, and they want people to stay homeless. Okay, I can see that. Um, I think that uh, I'm going to address Karthik first. Amanda, what's the video about people using drugs? Is the police not taking action on this? Law enforcement is not the the answer. I'm just going to throw that out there. Okay? Oh my. The war on drugs failed. Failed. It will continue to fail. It doesn't work. End of story. Got to think outside the box. We already knew it failed. We got to ball it up. That's done. Um, the power, and I agree that the powers that be, and what I would say the powers that be are those in control of the medicines. That would be the pharmaceutical companies. That would be doctors taking kickbacks. That would be public policy being shaped by pharma lobbyists. It would be a for-profit healthcare system that takes advantage of the vulnerable. Um, Prince and Michael Jackson died. In Prince's case, there was fentanyl, right? Yep. Yeah, and that's I don't know if it was fentanyl or if it was that propofol that Michael Jackson was on too. But there's been numerous and numerous people that have died of overdoses, and that's why I say it's not a homed or homeless issue. And actually, I personally have known about 4 people to overdose, not very real close to me, but all those people were homed. So, if people are going into empty houses or hiding in random places to use and they overdose at an injection site, yes, Becca, absolutely. And that, and that's a given that it saves lives. But what we have to overcome is there's a lot of people that don't believe that an addict's life is worth saving. And they believe that the person made a choice to use a certain substance. And so they have to pay for the consequences of that. And what I have to say to them is there's a lot of different factors to be taken into account into people's choices, such as their environment and other things. I'm not going to go into the long diatribe now, but it's not as cut and dry as that. Um, I feel it's people's choice. So all have problems in our lives. Some we have problems, we're down. Some people make God isn't mistaken. Hello. It's also the city council. You would be amazed, Kate, at the just people are not like in the city council. I've even been asked to run. Um, and here's the thing. I find that there is a disconnect between the city council and education about the solutions and some of the drivers. And I think in that, there has been a lot of hurried, rushed decisions that have turned out horribly, horribly wrong. And now it's gotten to the point where it's just perpetuating the cycle. And I think that they need to take a look and really work on engaging the public with what the evidence based solutions are and where the money is going. I honestly think that transparency is the way to go, really engaging with people and letting them know, because at this point, there are things being done, but I don't know if the city's even taking part, other than passing the stuff off onto other sources. Their pet providers, I guess, is what you would say. Um, I don't know. Bill, I just joined. I'm on the board for an overdose prevention site group here in May. 57 died in 2017. Yeah, it's a huge it's an issue, and we have to do something. And in Seattle especially, I hear people all the time, there's needles all over the place, there's needles all over the place. I'm like, okay, so people, what are you expecting? Users are going to use unless you get them treatment, period. And if somebody is like, well, I did it, so why can't, not everybody's you, okay? Not everybody's you. If you respond to people in the manner of, well, I did it, so they should A, B, or C, it must be wonderful to be you, but not everybody's you. And people have difficulties, and we have to reach out as a society and care about others and solve this problem. Because the thing is even if we were completely selfish, right? And all we cared about was ourselves, which I don't believe is the case. I believe the majority of people care about a range of things outside themselves. I really do. But say we were completely selfish and all we cared about was ourselves, and we would still want to use some sort of safe injection site or whatever, just because of illness, overdoses. And even if you don't care about the people overdosing, you will care if they're laying on the street in droves. It'll make you care real quick, because that is a huge cost on taxpayers. So, in that, I pretty much said what I got to say about safe injection sites. Like I said, now I agree with it, but I get it if you don't. But please, before you make a decision, I beg of you, look at the data and look at it from a standpoint not of whether people should or shouldn't use drugs. I think we all agree they shouldn't. Um, but the fact that they do, and they still deserve health care, and they still deserve to have their lives saved if at all possible. So, so that's what the basis of that is. I'm done. There's another group here that is branched to other states called Church of Safe Injection, clean needles, test strips, naloxone. Why they gotta call Church of? I get it. I think it's a wonderful thing. Um, how do you keep everyone else safe? I'm going to need you to clarify that, because by not having it, everybody else is, because that's the thing at where we are right now at this juncture is people are in danger all the time. Rowan's in danger walking down the street. Um, if she gets stuck, there's needles all over the place, and that will decrease. It'll decrease on the communicable illnesses and injections. There's a list of things, but we are safer than we are now. At this juncture, people are using on the street because we literally do not have, when everybody says law enforcement, we don't have that kind of money. We do not have the money to tackle this opiate crisis and throw everyone in jail. There just is not. It is much cheaper to treat people and to pair treatment with where we know they want to be, which is using safely. They don't want to die either. They're addicted. They most of them do not have a death wish. They just want to stop feeling something, or they're self-medicating for some reason. But if you can't understand addiction or drugs, that's fine. Just look at it as a public health issue and do the research. We almost got attacked. That was the Church of Less. Yeah, the video. That's the thing, though, is that that isn't that isn't necessarily, that wasn't from the safe injection site. That was somebody that was just using on the street, and that was meth or crack or whatever. I'm not sure of the difference, so I know that it was one of those ranges, and that's not something that, is addressed right now. That's just out in public. And so you get people that, just like, okay, for example, if I like dancing, I'm going to hang around lots of people that dance because it's fun. If I like singing, I might join a choir. Um, if people are using drugs, they're going to be around other people using drugs. We we like having community as human beings. We like socialization. And so when you see a group of, you know, vulnerable people using or whatever, some of those drugs cause severe behavioral side effects. And yeah, they can get dangerous. And that's one of the reasons that we got to start getting people into treatment and making healthcare widely available, and getting people housed. Because here's another issue. Now, this is where this affects the homeless population, is that, say you have somebody who is heavily addicted in a home. Their health is definitely affected, all of that. But it's easier for them to recover and get into treatment and have a less um, rate of falling back into the addiction than it is for somebody who doesn't have that stability. It really does take stability and safety to get better health wise. And that's not just mental, that's physically as well. And I know that for a fact. If you guys know my backstory, you know that too. So it's important. Um, so I recently, oh, thank you, Karthik. Yeah. And Kay, thank you. Treatment is totally different than safe injection sites. You're absolutely right. Treatment is complete. What I want is to see is it paired up with treatment sites so that we can move people in. It's almost like meet them where they're at, like with the healthcare and the vet care. It's addiction care, but it's important to meet people where they're at because if not, you may not meet them at all. Um, let's see. I recently found your channel for someone that it doesn't seem has ever had an addiction issue. You have amazing perspective and understanding. Um, all right. Becca, I was born to a heroin addict. My mother was addicted to heroin. Not when I was born, afterwards, I think. Pretty sure. Um, my father was on numerous drugs and alcohol. And throughout my life, I have struggled with addiction as far as tobacco use. I started smoking when I was 14 years old. Still struggling to quit. I just had this gotten for me, so it seems to be working okay. um, I had a hot stint there with alcohol abuse. I wouldn't, when I went to therapy, it was a little different than alcoholism, but whatever, doesn't matter. I had a problem there for a hot second. I was on painkillers for like 3 years till I decided that that'll kill me. Like I'm good. I'm good. I'm not looking to like I was looking to relieve the pain from conditions that I have. And the doctor that was prescribing them was just ridiculous. I was like, no, I'm good. And I went on a mood stabilizer and was like, okay, I'm done. But no, I struggled with addiction. Was it as hardcore as somebody else's? No. Um, my life has been touched a lot by addiction. Um, Gosh, so much. Um, but I think about it. I think about it and I try to think about it with compassion and think about it with empathy. And instead of coming to the point where saying, I just don't understand, I seek to understand. I want to understand. I may not know exactly, but I want to understand. Um, Thank you, Karthik. Fight to live sober, understand deeply, they will kill you, and honor your own why do this. Okay. To me, treatment is totally different. Yep. Okay. Would you like to get info on the Portland overdose prevention site efforts? Yeah, actually, I would because at this juncture, it is, I believe, still not legal in the United States to do safe injection sites. I know that it's the reason I wanted to discuss it or talk about it was because it's a hot button issue, and I think that the only way we're going to come to understanding is talking about it and talking about it in a way that's constructive and fact based, not from a way that's you know another way. I couldn't think of the words. I'm so sorry. um, yes, thank you. Post the link. Oh, Becca's from Maine as well. Awesome. So that's pretty much what I have to say on this. And I hope you all have a wonderful day. And that's one thing that I want to start doing is really tackling the facts about what's out there and talk about what we are doing, because I think there's so much of everyone saying that nothing's being done. So we really need to talk about the things that are being done and the things that are working. So anyway, I'll talk to you later. And another thing, if you are a viewer from the Midwest or somewhere in Mozambique, my heart goes out to you. Oh, just know that I'm sending love out there, and I hope that our country is able to provide as much support as needed to get our states healed. So, thank you guys. Yeah, I have your email. So anyway, I will talk to you later. You all have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Bye.